I want to show you how to determine the difference between velocity and speed from sign diagrams. And I don't mean road sign diagrams, I'm talking about in kinematics. Kinematics is the study of the motion of objects. As we're talking about motion of object, we might be asked a question such as, when is the speed of the object increasing? Or we might be asked, when is the velocity of the object increasing? And what is the difference between speed and velocity? Well, there is, because speed is just scalar, whereas velocity has magnitude and direction. And so to determine these questions, we need to look at the sign diagram of the velocity function and also the sign diagram of the acceleration function. So let's just draw this, and let us assume that this is the velocity function. And if it's a velocity function, then the time can never be less than 0 because it cannot be negative. So let's presume that our function is such that our time is here and it is negative on this side and positive on this side. And this is hypothetical. I'm going to now draw the function sign diagram of acceleration. Again, time cannot be less than 0. It cannot be negative. And our acceleration sign diagram indicates that the function is positive throughout. Now, the speed of the object is increasing if the velocity is positive and the acceleration is positive. And this will fall in this area over here. And we can say that t is increasing when it is greater than or equal to 1. And also, the velocity of the object is increasing when vt is, when the function of velocity is positive and the acceleration of function is also positive. Now I want to add that the speed of the object is decreasing when the velocity function is negative and the acceleration function is positive. And so that object will be decreasing in this area here, where t is less than or equal to 1 and when t is greater or equal to 0. Because remember that starts with 0. Now let's look at another scenario. This time the velocity function is the same, but the acceleration function is negative. Here, the speed of the object is increasing when the velocity function is negative and when the acceleration function is negative. And this will happen when 0 is less than t, which is less than or equal to 1. But velocity of the object at this point will decrease. And lastly, the speed of the object is decreasing when velocity function is positive and the acceleration function is negative. And that will happen in this yellow area. So we could write that this will happen greater or equal to 1. And so, in summary, the speed of the object increases when the velocity and the acceleration are positive or when the velocity and the acceleration are negative. Whereas the velocity of the object increases only when the velocity and the acceleration are both positive. And the speed of the object decreases when the velocity is positive and acceleration is negative, or if the velocity is negative and the acceleration is positive. So this leaves us with the velocity of an object decreasing when only when the velocity function is negative and the acceleration function is also negative. I feel like I could summarize it in another way. So I hope this table is going to be useful to you. And if you found this whole explanation useful, then please subscribe to my videos, and you'll find many other videos which are applicable to mathematical methods year 12.